Hi guys, today I'm going to try and finish up all my crochet whips or work in progresses. I know it's kind of common for a lot of people who do fiber arts to have like a bunch of different whips that they like working on. But for me, I usually don't do that. I usually only like work on one project and finish it through. And right now there are these 4 projects and they're just taking up so much freaking brain space and I just want to get them done with. First, let me show you everything and where we are. For me, I really like the design part of crochet. So once I get like 90% through a project, and I can kind of see what it's gonna look like, I just get bored and I stop working on it, which is so dumb because I feel like all of these just need like a couple hours to finish up. Like this cardigan, look how freaking cute it is. It's made with 100% cotton and I love this pink color. I even sewed on the buttons and everything. The only thing left is I want to add a collar here and I don't know, I've just been struggling with like how big I want to make it, so I'll have to work on that. I also added these ties here. And I like the idea of it, so I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Next up, I have this beautiful little shell stitch cardigan. It is gorgeous, except it's worked with literally thread, crochet thread. So it's taking forever and it is giving me such bad wrist pain. But I want to finish it because I just want to wear it. The issue is it's not very fun to work on and it's very repetitive. You don't like really see progress quickly, obviously, because you're working with freaking thread. But like, look how cute that is. The other thing I need to decide is if I want to add like some buttons here and do a button closure, or I was also thinking I could do like the little tie with the bow. I also feel like that could be really cute. Next, I have this little cardigan that I'm working on for my boyfriend. I'm using the like Karen cake. So this is actually working up pretty fast. I just don't like working on it because it's not for me. So it doesn't feel very exciting. I just have to add the sleeves and the border. And he wants like a collar situation too. I have to figure out how he wants it. So this one is also done. Actually, I was worried that this would not be good for summer because it's like kind of a fuzzy yarn, but I did like a bigger hook and it's just a double crochet, so it's like very meshy. So I do feel like this would actually be really cute in like the summer evenings. And I really like how the whole ombre situation is working up. So I do want to finish it, even though it's not for me. Okay, and finally this last one, I'm a little hesitant to even call it a whip because it's literally just a bunch of these squares. And if you guys remember, I did that patchwork cardigan. It was one of my first crochet projects and I clearly didn't know what I was doing because I made so many extra squares and I have like a whole extra. I don't really like how it looked in clothes, so I don't want to make any tops or anything, but I feel like this would make like the coolest summer bag. I've been seeing like those really big oversized totes, so I don't know. I'm either gonna use the squares and do like a patchwork tote, or maybe I might just unravel all of these and just do that. I'm getting ready to head out right now and I have to pick a project. I think I'm gonna take this. I'm just gonna like sit in my boyfriend's car while he charges it. So I'm just gonna work on this while we do that. We're charging and now I'm gonna start working. We just got home. Unfortunately, I made a mistake. So I think I basically have to frog everything that I just did. This is just giving me crazy wrist pain and I just need a break and I want to do something fun. So I'm going to go work on this cardigan. I already started a little bit. I want to do the ribbing along the bottom here. So I just have this much left. And then my favorite part of cardigans is doing like the lapels and the collar because I feel like that's when you can like try it on and it all comes together. So I'm just trying to power through this bottom bit so I can add the lapel. I want to update you guys because I am doing the last few stitches of the ribbing and I'm so excited. The bottom ribbing is done and that's usually what takes the longest, so I'm feeling very good. Okay, last stitch. Just do a little slip stitch. Yep, right there. Oh my gosh, look at that. I love that ribbing. done. I'm never making anything for my boyfriend again because it has to be so freaking big. I'm a little worried that we might run out of yarn. I still have all of this and this whole cake left, but I have to do like this, the collar, and I have to do the sleeves. And I got this at Joann's, so I'm worried if I go back, they might not have it. So I don't usually work with color changing yarns, and like, it's very pretty, don't get me wrong, but as someone who's like a big perfectionist and like very OCD about like what goes where and how things line up, these little things bug me so much, like how that's different colors, or like here, like that's a lot more drastic. I want to work on this for like at least a couple more hours, but I should probably get it headed to bed, honestly. And I need to finish up this one, and my wrists feel a lot better. So I'm gonna finish up the last little shell stitch here. I just hate working on this. Like, I've never had a project that I hated working on more. And I keep messing up. Like, usually I feel like I'm really good at like just going into a flow state and like not needing to count or anything. But with this, I'm like constantly making mistakes. I'm constantly having to go back. And with this, when you make a mistake, you're not just going back like a couple stitches, you're going back rows. So there are so many rows that I just had to completely undo and then redo, which is like so frustrating because this yarn, y'all, it's so freaking thin. It hasn't been very fun. But this is probably the piece that I'm like most excited to have and like actually wear because I think it looks very pretty. I also think white yarn is very dangerous for me because I already got like taco sauce all over this and I haven't even worn it. This is just for me making it. It's already so stained. I probably should go to bed. But I'm gonna be kind of running around tomorrow and I don't know when the next time I'll be able to do this is, but I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with all these squares. I'm thinking I'll either just use them as is and kind of arrange them into like a little tote bag, and then I have some scrap yarn to maybe do like the, what's it called, the back strap and the border. I don't know, I kind of have like a weird assortment of colors, so if it's not gonna work, then I'll just have to take all of these apart and then seam it up, which I also think could be really cute. So I'm really not going to be upset either way. Okay, I've tried a bunch of different arrangements and I can't really get it to look very good. So I think I'm just going to take apart all of these squares so I can just make like a big ball of yarn. And I actually think that would be really cute, kind of like a scrap tote bag. I used to hate taking apart my work. I felt like it was such a waste of time, and I would try to use up like every little scrap and just make something even if I didn't love it. But now I like love the idea of frogging. I think it's really cool, and it's like very unique to crochet because like you can have pieces for years, and then if you want, you can just take it apart and then make something completely new. And not to get like too doom and gloom on y'all, but especially now with the economy, things are a lot more expensive and I'm definitely not buying as much yarn as I used to. So I've like loved looking at my old projects and taking them apart and reusing the yarn for something else. It's like a cool challenge. Initially, I was kind of thinking that I would maybe like separate the colors or have like some sort of order, but I've completely abandoned that and we are in full-blown chaos. I'm just going to wrap the yarn as I feel like it, and however it works up is how it works up. That was actually so satisfying. This is all the yarn I have, which is a lot more than I was expecting. So I feel like we can make like a pretty decent sized tote bag. And because it's all scrap yarn, I'm gonna look up some inspo, but I've seen one where the ends kind of just hang out and I feel like that could be cool. So I'm actually so excited, and I don't really remember like the order that they were put in, so I feel like it's going to be really exciting as I'm like working to uncover it. That is all I have the energy for tonight, but I feel like it was a very productive day. Hey guys, my boyfriend and I are wanting to try this like new Indian restaurant, and I just brought this cardigan. I haven't given y'all updates, but I've actually made a lot of progress, especially on the cardigan for my boyfriend. I only have one sleeve left, so I'm so excited to show y'all that. And then this, it's honestly getting pretty long. I think I'm just gonna probably work on it maybe like today and tomorrow. Good. Oh my god, I can like feel the spice from here. Hey guys, let me give you an update on the two pieces that I've actually been working on. Guys, I'm obsessed with it. I honestly think this is a really good length. I feel like it kind of covers the butt. If it was like too long, I feel like it would look weird, especially if you want to wear it with like shorts or a skirt. But I think this length is perfect. I'm a little bit back and forth between doing buttons. In the original pattern, she kind of just sews on buttons and she uses these little loops as like the buttonholes. But I feel like my yarn is so much thinner, so I just feel like these buttonholes are going to be really finicky, and I don't really see myself really buttoning it up. And I also hate following patterns. I like to add like my own little twist on everything. So I was thinking about adding like a little bow here. Well, let me show you the cardigan because that's probably what I've been the most excited to work on. Guys, look how good this looks. It also fits my boyfriend perfectly. I kind of wish I did like this sleeve over here because then it would be like a little bit more contrast, but it's fine. I think it'll look cool. It'll kind of be like a half and half look. So yes, this is a cardigan. I just have to finish up this sleeve. My boyfriend's here right now, so maybe I will work on that so I can just give it to him so he can take it to work tomorrow. Okay, you guys are gonna think I'm absolutely crazy because I completely changed up the sleeve. I kept looking at it, I kept having my boyfriend try it on, and I don't know, something about it, it just felt off. I feel like it still looked a little bit girly. You know what, let me get up and show you. Okay, so this is one of my cardigans, and you can see that it has these like really big kind of balloon sleeves and then this nice cinch right here. And I think this is really cute, but I do think it's more of like a feminine silhouette. And for his cardigan, I really wanted to keep it like a lot more masculine. I ended up adding a lot more decreases. This was the original sleeve. If you guys can see here, I did like a couple decreases and then I just worked it straight. Whereas over here, I just kept doing these decreases, and I feel like this silhouette is like a lot more masculine. I definitely think this is the right decision, but I have to take like most of this sleeve apart, like up till there or something, and then completely rework it up. I'm hoping it'll go by pretty fast, but we are not doing very good on time. Of course, so one time I decide to actually weave in my ends and be all responsible is the time that I need to pick it apart. And I actually did like a very thorough job, unfortunately. I can't believe I'm undoing all of this because I never used to be a perfectionist when it came to my yarn. Because at the end of the day, you're literally making fabric out of string. So like, how big can the mistake be? I keep thinking like, if I make a mistake, it's not a big deal. No one's gonna know. And that part is true. But I'm like looking at a pile of my finished projects, and every single mistake I've made, like I remember it. And when I wear the garment, that's all I can think about. So now I've just come to realize that it's probably easier if I just unravel it and just remake it. Just for the simple fact that it's not going to haunt my mind, you know? And there's something so satisfying, especially when you're giving a gift, about knowing that not only is it handmade, but it's super well made. So, okay, maybe I'm delusional, but I feel like I can get this done in like an hour. Because even though I'm like maybe a quarter of the way, I'm convincing myself that it really won't take that long. And also I just really want to get it over with, or else, I don't know, I feel like I'm not going to remember exactly what I did tomorrow, and I want it to be like ready for my boyfriend to have tomorrow morning. Okay, it's currently 1:58 a.m. and I'm doing the last few stitches, and I started at 1:10, so I think I'm gonna finish this in like 50 minutes, which I feel like is pretty good for an entire sleeve. I feel like crochet is so satisfying when like all your numbers line up. Like I used to never count my stitches, but recently, I don't know, it's really cool, especially like when you need to replicate something. I feel like because I never counted, I would just try to like somehow remember in my head and like go off of vibes. But with this, to finish something and like have it actually match up, it just like scratches an itch in my brain, you know? Snip. Oh my gosh, both sleeves are finished. I just have to make sure it's even. Look at that. Look how perfect this whole project turned out. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, y'all, sorry the lighting's bad. It's 2 a.m. But the sweater is all done. And actually, I really like this. Like, I've just been wearing it around the house even before it's been finished, because this yarn is like so soft, but because it's like a looser stitch, it just double crochet and I used a bigger hook. It's still like very breezy, and oh, I'm so glad we did the sleeves. I feel like this just looks so much better. It's like so slouchy, so cute. I really like the silhouette. This is my first time doing something that's like a little bit more masculine, and I'm very proud of it. Okay, y'all, I'm just weaving in the ends for this final bits of my crochet lace cardigan. I cannot believe this is done. I always get this thing where I'm like so excited to have a finished project, but then as soon as I finish it, I'm like sad because I miss working on it. And I feel like the longer I work on projects, like the more attached I get. And like this has been like my go-to project. I actually really like working with like a super thin yarn. For one, it's really cheap, and I feel like it's just super easy to like take everywhere with you. And sometimes like when crochet projects get really big, I get a little embarrassed to like, you know, bring it into restaurants and stuff. But with this, like I just chucked the hook in my purse, and I feel like this is so easy to ball up that people don't really notice. I did add the ties. I debated between doing the buttons, but I think the ties is like a fun little twist. I just did a little slip stitch cord. Okay, from the last time y'all saw it, I did end up adding one more row just for good luck. Look how professional this looks. Like this is totally something that I would buy. And I love the little bow. I feel like it's the cutest little accent. And you know what the cool thing about crochet is? Like I made this, so if I ever get bored of it, I can just cut off the bow and I can always just add buttons. It's not like quite long enough to be a dress, but in the future, if I ever decide I want to, you know, lengthen it, I can do that. So yeah, I'm obsessed with this. I really like working with this yarn. I kind of just want to abandon all my other projects and make like a matching skirt for this, but I just know that would take forever and I want to get some other things knocked out. So this is all done. I still do not want to start on my cardigan. I don't know why I'm saving the easiest project for last. This is how my procrastination goes. But I have been really excited to start crocheting this like scrap yarn bag. I'm really just excited to see like all the yarn that's under this, and I got way more yarn than I thought I would. So I feel like it'll be like a pretty good sized tote, like a good catch-all. And I also have some different like bag handles and stuff. If y'all crochet, let me know if you actually follow like the hook size recommendation or if you just go on vibes, because this says it needs a 9mm, which is like, I don't really see that. So I'm just gonna use a 6.5 and oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, y'all, this is why I can't do scrap yarn projects. So I'm trying to do this just like solely based on vibes, and honestly, I hate it. I just don't see the vision, and I think for like how thick this yarn is, and it was kind of expensive too. I don't want to like waste it on something that I don't like. I also have like no gauge of like how far this yarn is gonna go, because if I'm making like a big giant scrappy tote, I don't want to not have enough yarn to finish it. And then I'm also worried if I make something too small, then I'll just have a bunch of this yarn left over. And I am just so freaking sick of looking at this yarn. Like it's so thick, it's so chunky, it takes up so much space. I also have like so much new yarn, and I'm so excited to work on that I'm like, is it even worth wasting time on this project that I'm not even excited about? Low-key, I feel like I should just forget this project, focus on the cardigan, and make clothes that I'm actually excited to wear. And then maybe eventually I'll have a project that I'm really excited to use this yarn for, and I'll be glad I saved it. There's no reason to crochet something that you don't like. I feel like this is pretty typical with other crocheters too, but I feel like if you're kind of like a crafty, thrifty person, it's really in your nature to like want to use up every little piece of something. So it's really hard for me when I have projects like this and like this that have leftover yarn. Like I'm immediately like, what can I do with the leftovers? Like what should I make? Like I just don't want it to go to waste. And in a way, I think it's actually cool to save these. And I know that there will be slow periods where I don't really have any ideas and I don't have extra money that I want to spend on yarn. And I think that's the perfect time that I can pull out, you know, big fun scrap projects like these. Okay guys, I am like so obsessed with this. I am so happy with how it turned out. I love the fit. Hopefully I'll be just as happy with my cardigan. I also think my boyfriend loves his cardigan, right? Mm-hmm. Do you actually like it? Mm-hmm. I don't know, but he's never really worn crochet pieces before. Granted, I don't even wear my own stuff, so I guess I can't be offended. I finally am ready to tackle this collar. I don't know why the easiest project has taken me the longest. Okay, this is actually going really well. I was having a really hard time with the collar. I think because I really like everything else, I didn't want to like half-ass a collar that I didn't love. And it took me a couple different tries, a couple different stitch swatches, and I'm finally really happy with it. I think it's turning out really pretty. I feel like it's the perfect length. I redid this collar like at least 20 times, and I'm so glad that I did, because I think the stitch is perfect. I think this length is perfect. I think I might run out of yarn. I don't know, maybe I won't, because I'm like halfway done. I haven't really worked in this with this yarn in like a few weeks, which is the con. That's why I don't like leaving. My nail is breaking. Which is why I don't like leaving things as whips, because I feel like, you know, all the things you think you're gonna remember, when you come back to it, you forget, and you forget, you know, like what your tension was, like how many stitches you did, like how to work with the yarn, and I feel like you just forget, you know, all the little tips and tricks that you learned. So I have no idea like how to gauge this yarn. Okay, I'm halfway done and I have this much left. So we're playing game at yarn chicken. If this yarn is not enough, that will genuinely be my 13th reason and I will lose it. At this point, this sweater's not gonna have a collar. You know, like, cause this has taken so freaking long, so many tries, and now I love it, finally. And now I might not have enough yarn. Oh my God, I lost my hook too. This is like the cursed sweater, okay? Hi guys, I'm back home. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm getting a little nervous because this is all the yarn that I have left. Actually, I don't know. It might be tight. Maybe we can do it? I don't know, maybe I'm delusional. Put in your votes. I'm getting to the end, either of the collar or of the yarn. Let me know what you think. Who do you think won this game of yarn chicken? Okay, I hope y'all casted your votes because I have this much yarn left and I just finished the collar. Oh, this is like the perfect amount. Actually, I'm greedy. Whenever I see this much left, I'm like, you're telling me I could have done a couple extra rows and made the collar a little bit bigger. Okay, I might lose this game of yarn chicken, but I'm thinking maybe I'll go around the edges here just to, you know, add a little border. Another successful round of yarn chicken. There's actually a lot more left over this time, but that's fine. It just scraps and I can find a way to use them later. Look how cute this freaking border looks. And I also did the same thing up here. So, oh, it's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna cut and weave in the ends. I feel like every time I have a project that I love, it takes me so much longer to finish because I'm so much like pickier about it. And even this, I'm like, but could I make it better? And I just remind myself, like, I made this. I always can remake it, you know, like it's literally just yarn. I can just cut it, and if I come up with a better idea for the border, I still have this extra yarn, so I can literally just change it. Like, it's not that serious. It's close. I really like how this looks now. Maybe in like a year or in a week, if I get bored of it, I can change it. Oh, I love it. I just love how everything turned out. I think it's so cute. Okay, time for the final reveal, starting with the pink cardigan. Actually, literally every single one of these pieces is a cardigan, but this is probably the most classic piece, and I think it's beautiful. I love the color. I love the buttons. I love the sleeves, especially like they're just really big and flowy, and I love how the collar turned out. I'm not quite sure about the little ties in the back. My boyfriend says it looks like a bathrobe, so let me know what you guys think about that. This is by far my favorite, only because of how intricate and detailed it looks. I think it's gorgeous, and I also feel like it's super versatile. Like for me in the summer, I really like when my shoulders are covered, but I don't always want, you know, the extra heat and the extra layers. So I feel like this is just like a perfect little casual thing to throw on to make any outfit 100 times cuter. Now on to my boyfriend's cardigan. I love this. I think it's perfect. I do wish I used a different yarn. I feel like the fuzzy color changing yarns look really pretty in the skein, but when you work them up, I feel like they definitely look a little bit more like homemade and kind of kiddish, which is a cool look. I mean, it's definitely not something you could buy in stores, but I kind of wish I used just like a classic cream or like an olive green color. So I definitely think that I would remake him one in the future. Let me know what you guys think and let me know what you want to see next. I'm debating between either just showing you guys literally everything that I've ever crocheted or doing a video of recreating some designer crochet pieces that I've seen. I think that would also be awesome. By the way, I did technically freehand all these pieces, but I will link some similar patterns down below if you guys want to try and make them. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I will try and answer them in the comments. Bye!